Tesla was making big promises. At first, it looked like customer interest would be as impressive as the truck's specs.
Demand is off the charts.
There have been recalls and canceled plans that have angered customers.
Electric vehicles are often seen as the future of driving. Quiet, smooth, and supposedly easier to maintain than gas-powered cars. With fewer moving parts, no oil changes, and promises of long-lasting batteries, many people assume that EVs will outlast traditional vehicles without major issues. But the truth is, not every EV lives up to that image. In fact, some have already shown serious problems well before owners expected them. From weak batteries and failing electronics, to poor build quality and costly repairs, certain electric vehicles are breaking down far too early. For a technology that's supposed to represent progress, these breakdowns are frustrating, expensive, and in some cases, dangerous. In this video, we'll count down 12 EVs that are already falling apart, leaving owners disappointed and questioning whether the hype around electric cars matches the reality on the road. Number 12. Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf was one of the first widely available electric cars, and it helped introduce EVs to everyday drivers. At first, it seemed like the perfect choice for people who wanted an affordable way to go electric. But over time, the Leaf developed a reputation for serious battery problems. Unlike some newer EVs that use advanced cooling systems, the early Leaf relied on air cooling for its battery pack. This meant that in hot climates, the battery degraded quickly. Owners in places like Arizona and Texas reported losing significant driving range within just a few years. Some drivers saw their range drop from over 80 miles when new to less than 50 miles in just 3 to 4 years of ownership. This wasn't normal wear. It was far faster than expected. And once the battery started to fail, the cost of replacement was extremely high, often more than what the car was worth on the used market. Beyond the battery, the Leaf also had issues with weak build quality. Interior materials wore out quickly, and early models were criticized for feeling cheap compared to other compact cars. While the Leaf proved that EVs could work for daily driving, it also showed how fragile they could be if the battery wasn't properly designed. For many owners, the Leaf's rapid battery degradation meant that it fell apart long before they planned to replace it. What was supposed to be a reliable, futuristic commuter car turned into a limited-range headache that couldn't meet basic daily needs. That's why the Nissan Leaf earns its place on this list of EVs that started failing far too soon. Number 11. Tesla Model S. When the Tesla Model S first hit the market, it was hailed as a breakthrough in electric vehicles. With its long range, impressive acceleration, and sleek design, it quickly became a symbol of the EV revolution. But, as owners soon discovered, the Model S wasn't immune to serious problems, and for many drivers, the issues started showing up much earlier than they ever expected. One of the most notorious problems was with the drive unit, essentially the electric motor system that powers the car. Many early Model S owners reported whining noises, shuddering, or complete drive unit failures before even hitting 50,000 miles. Tesla often replaced these under warranty, but for a vehicle marketed as cutting-edge and low-maintenance, needing such major repairs so soon was disappointing. Another major issue came from the suspension system. Reports of premature suspension failures and broken control arms spread among owners, raising safety concerns. Some even described wheels collapsing unexpectedly, which is the kind of failure no one wants in a high-performance luxury car. These problems not only damaged Tesla's reputation, but also left many customers questioning whether the company had rushed the car to market before fully testing long-term durability. On top of that, the Model S has been criticized for inconsistent build quality. Panel gaps, faulty door handles, touchscreen failures, and interior components wearing out early all contributed to the sense that, despite its futuristic appeal, the car wasn't as solidly built as traditional luxury sedans from established brands. In a vehicle that cost as much as or more than a Mercedes or BMW, these problems were hard to ignore. Battery and charging systems have also caused headaches. While the Model S offers impressive range, some owners faced early battery pack degradation, charging port malfunctions, or software updates that limited charging speed and capacity. For buyers who believed they were investing in the future of driving, these setbacks felt like steps backward. The Tesla Model S proved that EVs could be fast, stylish, and practical on long trips. But it also showed how fragile new technology can be when real-world use puts it to the test. Between motor issues, suspension failures, build quality concerns, and costly battery repairs, the Model S often left early owners frustrated. For a car that was supposed to represent the best of the EV world, too many of them started falling apart far earlier than they should have. Number 10. Chevrolet Bolt EV. The Chevrolet Bolt EV was launched as an affordable long-range electric car that could compete directly with Tesla in the mainstream market. At first, it looked like a game-changer, compact, practical, and able to travel more than 200 miles on a single charge. It gave everyday drivers a taste of EV ownership without the premium price tag. But soon after its release, the Bolt developed a reputation for problems that made many owners question its long-term dependability. The most serious issue was its battery pack. Multiple reports of battery fires forced General Motors to recall every single Bolt EV ever produced. Owners were told not to park their cars in garages, not to charge overnight, and to keep the battery below a certain level of charge until repairs could be made. For a vehicle that was supposed to represent the safety and convenience of EVs, this was a nightmare scenario. Replacing or repairing battery packs was expensive and time-consuming, leaving many owners without their cars for months. Beyond the battery fire risk, Bolt owners also faced other frustrations. Some reported rapid range loss, even within the first few years of ownership. Cold weather performance was another major complaint, with range dropping drastically during winter, making it less practical in northern states. While some range reduction is normal in EVs, the severity for some Bolt owners was far worse than expected. Build quality also left much to be desired. Interior plastics felt cheap, seats were uncomfortable on long drives, and infotainment glitches were common. While these issues might be tolerable in a budget car, they added to the sense that the Bolt wasn't built to last. Electrical problems with charging ports, faulty sensors, and malfunctioning electronics were also reported, further adding to repair visits and warranty claims. For a car meant to make EV ownership simple and accessible, the Bolt ended up with one of the worst reputations for reliability in the EV market. Owners who thought they were stepping into the future found themselves dealing with recalls, safety risks, and early performance drop-offs. The Chevrolet Bolt EV may have been ambitious, but its battery problems and overall fragility put a serious dent in its promise. Instead of proving that affordable EVs could go the distance, The Bolt showed how quickly things could fall apart when battery technology and quality control weren't perfected. That's why it firmly earns its spot on this list. Number 9. Tesla Model X. The Tesla Model X was introduced as the brand's high-tech SUV, famous for its dramatic falcon wing doors and futuristic interior. It was meant to combine cutting-edge electric performance with family practicality. At launch, it turned heads everywhere and attracted plenty of attention as one of the boldest EVs ever made. But beneath the flashy design, the Model X quickly developed a reputation for reliability issues that often appeared much too early. The most infamous problem was with those falcon wing doors. While they looked impressive, they were complex to engineer and prone to malfunction. Owners reported doors that refused to open, sensors that failed, and hinges that jammed. In some cases, doors even clipped nearby objects because the sensors didn't work correctly. For families who needed a dependable SUV, dealing with malfunctioning doors became more than just an inconvenience. It made the vehicle impractical. The drivetrain also faced early problems. Much like the Model S, the Model X suffered from drive unit issues, including whining noises, vibrations, and premature wear. Some owners needed replacements well before 50,000 miles. Suspension failures were also a recurring complaint, with reports of control arms and suspension links breaking under normal driving conditions. These failures created safety concerns and led to costly repairs that no luxury SUV should face so soon. Build quality became another sore point. For a vehicle priced in the luxury category, the Model X often showed misaligned panels, interior rattles, and fragile trim pieces that wore out early. Owners also complained about the large panoramic windshield cracking or developing distortions, adding another expensive item to the repair list. On the technology side, the Model X was plagued with software bugs, failing touchscreens, and electrical glitches. These weren't small issues either. Some drivers experienced complete loss of infotainment functionality or problems with the autopilot system. For a vehicle built around high-tech features, the constant electronic failures made it feel less reliable than traditional SUVs with simpler systems. The battery and charging system, while generally strong, also presented problems for some owners. Faulty charging ports, rapid range degradation in certain climates, and charging software glitches all contributed to frustration. For a family SUV marketed as futuristic and dependable, these recurring issues were a disappointment. The Tesla Model X proved that innovation can come at a cost. While it offered impressive speed, range, and design, the early failures in doors, drivetrain, suspension, and electronics made ownership stressful. Instead of delivering a seamless futuristic experience, the Model X often felt like it was falling apart faster than expected. Number 8. BMW i3. The BMW i3 was one of the earliest premium electric vehicles to hit the market, offering a futuristic design, lightweight carbon fiber construction, and the prestige of the BMW badge. When it launched, it was praised for being innovative and ahead of its time. But as owners began putting miles on it, the i3 developed a reputation for issues that made it less durable than people expected, with many vehicles showing serious problems before 50,000 miles. One of the biggest complaints about the i3 was its battery performance. While BMW promised dependable range, many owners reported rapid battery degradation within the first few years. In some climates, the usable range dropped dramatically, turning a once practical commuter car into something that barely managed short trips. For a vehicle marketed as cutting-edge, this left many drivers frustrated. The i3 also suffered from reliability issues with its onboard electronics. Owners reported problems with the infotainment system, failing sensors, and sudden warning lights that required service visits. Charging issues were another common complaint. Some i3s struggled with public charging stations, either refusing to charge or cutting out mid-session. This made the vehicle unpredictable, especially for those who depended on it for daily commuting. Mechanical durability was another weak point. The i3's lightweight carbon fiber and aluminum construction was innovative but expensive to repair. Even minor accidents often resulted in high repair bills because of the specialized materials and limited repair options. Suspension components also wore out quickly, with owners reporting clunks and vibrations much earlier than expected. The range extender version of the i3, which used a small gas engine to recharge the battery, brought its own set of issues. Owners complained of loud engine noise, poor integration between the gas motor and electric drivetrain, and additional maintenance costs that defeated the purpose of owning an EV. Instead of solving range anxiety, it introduced new headaches. Interior quality also came under fire. While the design was futuristic, many materials didn't hold up well over time. Seats wore out quickly, door panels loosened, and rattles developed as the miles added up. Combined with the mechanical and electrical problems, the i3 began to feel fragile much too early in its life. For a premium-priced EV, buyers expected more. The BMW i3 proved that innovation alone isn't enough if durability is sacrificed. Between its weak battery, fragile build, and high repair costs, it became one of the EVs that often started falling apart well before it should have. Number 7. Jaguar I-Pace. The Jaguar I-Pace was hailed as a major step forward when it launched, marking Jaguar's bold entry into the electric vehicle market. With sleek styling, luxury features, and strong performance numbers, it promised to compete directly with Tesla and show that traditional automakers could build world-class EVs. On paper, it looked like a winner. But in reality, the I-Pace quickly earned a reputation for reliability problems that left many owners frustrated and, in some cases, stranded, well before the 50,000-mile mark. The most serious complaints centered around the battery and charging system. Many owners experienced slow charging speeds, charging failures, or complete inability to charge at public stations. Software glitches often caused the vehicle to refuse charging altogether, leaving drivers scrambling for solutions. For a car meant to deliver premium convenience, this was a huge disappointment. Electrical issues went beyond charging. The I-Pace was plagued with software bugs that caused everything from infotainment crashes to instrument cluster blackouts. In some cases, the vehicle entered limp mode unexpectedly, reducing power and speed while flashing warning lights across the dashboard. Owners often had to reboot the car like a smartphone, hardly the experience anyone expects from a luxury SUV. Mechanical reliability also raised concerns. Some I-Pace owners reported premature motor failures, unusual whining noises, and drivetrain vibrations. These issues often required major repairs, sometimes involving full replacement of expensive components. Adding to the frustration, parts availability was a common issue, meaning vehicles sometimes sat in dealerships for weeks or even months waiting for fixes. The I-Pace also had problems with build quality. For a luxury brand, interior materials didn't always hold up well, and exterior fit and finish weren't consistent. Rattles, squeaks, and loose trim pieces showed up much earlier than they should have, making the SUV feel older than its actual mileage. The suspension system wasn't immune either. Owners complained of premature wear, clunking noises, and handling that degraded quickly with use. Combined with high repair costs, this turned what was marketed as a sophisticated driving experience into a financial burden. For many early adopters, the Jaguar I-Pace was proof that luxury branding didn't guarantee reliability. While it looked futuristic and drove well when new, the reality was constant trips to the service center and uncertainty about whether it would perform as promised. For a high-priced electric SUV, that kind of fragility is unacceptable. That's why the Jaguar I-Pace firmly earns its place on this list of EVs that are already falling apart. Number 6. Audi e-tron. The Audi e-tron was marketed as a luxury EV that could stand toe-to-toe with Tesla, while offering the refinement and craftsmanship of a traditional German automaker. With its premium interior, smooth ride, and brand reputation, many buyers expected it to be a long-lasting electric SUV. But for a vehicle carrying such a high price tag, the e-tron has had more than its fair share of problems, many of them showing up shockingly early. One of the biggest issues has been its range and battery efficiency. While Audi advertised a competitive range, real-world results often fell short. Owners reported significant range loss within the first few years, and in colder climates, the performance was especially poor. In some cases, drivers saw their usable range drop by 20% or more before even hitting 50,000 miles, undermining the promise of long-term dependability. Charging problems have also plagued the e-tron. Some owners found that the vehicle would suddenly stop charging mid-session, while others struggled with compatibility at public charging stations. These glitches often traced back to software bugs or faulty charging hardware, and while dealerships offered fixes, the problems often resurfaced. For a vehicle marketed as premium, this unreliability in something as basic as charging was frustrating. Electrical failures were another common complaint. From malfunctioning infotainment systems to digital instrument clusters freezing, the e-tron often behaved more like an unstable computer than a luxury SUV. Some owners even reported sudden system reboots while driving, which added to the sense that the vehicle wasn't as robust as it should be. On the mechanical side, air suspension failures have been a recurring issue. Owners noticed sagging suspension, uneven ride height, or complete suspension collapse well before expected. Repairs for these systems are expensive, often costing thousands of dollars. Combined with electrical gremlins, it created an ownership experience that didn't match Audi's luxury image. Interior and build quality also came under scrutiny. While the cabin looked sophisticated, early wear on leather seats, rattling panels, and fading trim gave the impression that it wasn't designed to age gracefully. Add in high repair bills and long service times, and many owners felt like they didn't get the value they expected from such a premium vehicle. The Audi e-tron showed that even established automakers can struggle when moving into the EV world. Instead of being the dependable luxury SUV it promised to be, it often left drivers dealing with range loss, charging failures, and costly repairs far too early. For that reason, the e-tron earns a clear spot on this list of EVs that are already falling apart. Number 5. Fisker Karma. The Fisker Karma was one of the first attempts to bring a luxury electric vehicle with striking design to the market. With its sleek looks and futuristic technology, it made headlines as a bold challenger to traditional automakers. Celebrities bought them, magazines praised their styling, and Fisker promoted it as the future of driving. But under all that excitement, the Karma turned out to be one of the most fragile and unreliable EVs ever built. Many didn't even make it to 50,000 miles before serious problems appeared. One of the biggest issues was the powertrain itself. The Karma used a complicated plug-in hybrid system with both an electric drivetrain and a gasoline engine to extend range. This complexity created endless problems. Owners experienced sudden loss of power, overheating, and complete system failures. The electric motors, batteries, and gas engine often worked against each other instead of seamlessly integrating, leaving drivers stranded. Battery problems were especially severe. Some packs overheated, while others failed completely within a few years. Fisker had to recall vehicles due to battery fire risks, and since the company was a small startup, repairs were slow, and replacement packs were extremely costly. For many owners, a dead battery pack essentially totaled the car. Electrical glitches were another common headache. Owners complained about malfunctioning dashboards, warning lights that wouldn't turn off, and infotainment systems that froze. Even basic features like door handles and windows often stopped working, making the car feel unfinished and unreliable. For a vehicle marketed as cutting-edge luxury, these problems were embarrassing. Adding to the frustration was the company's instability. Fisker went bankrupt just a few years after launching the Karma, leaving many owners with no support, no parts, and no way to repair their failing cars. A luxury EV that already broke down early now became nearly impossible to maintain. The Karma's suspension and build quality also didn't hold up well. Owners reported rattles, premature wear, and poor assembly that became more noticeable as the miles added up. Combined with its other weaknesses, the vehicle quickly lost its value. The Fisker Karma may have looked futuristic, but it fell apart in reality. Instead of leading the EV revolution, it became a cautionary tale about rushing technology to market before it's ready. Expensive, unreliable, and unsupported, the Karma left its owners stranded both mechanically and financially. That's why it deserves a prominent spot on this list of EVs that fell apart far too soon. Number 4. Tesla Model 3. When Tesla launched the Model 3, it was meant to be the company's mass-market EV, the affordable electric car for everyone. With sleek styling, strong acceleration, and long range, it quickly became one of the most popular EVs worldwide. But despite its success, the Model 3 has had its share of problems, and many owners found themselves dealing with serious issues long before they expected, sometimes well before 50,000 miles. One of the most frequent complaints is build quality. Owners have reported misaligned panels, loose trim pieces, rattling interiors, and paint that chips easily. For a brand new car, these problems showed up shockingly fast, making the Model 3 feel worn long before its time. Even small issues, like wind noise from poorly sealed windows, made the car feel less solid than buyers expected from a vehicle marketed as the future of driving. The electronics and touchscreen system also created frustration. Since the Model 3 relies heavily on its central touchscreen for nearly all controls, any glitch becomes a major problem. Owners have experienced frozen screens, software crashes, and systems rebooting mid-drive. While software updates sometimes fix bugs, they also introduce new ones, making the driving experience unpredictable. Mechanical durability has also been questioned. Suspension problems, such as worn control arms and clunking noises, have been reported at surprisingly low mileage. Some owners even needed full suspension component replacements before hitting 50,000 miles. Combined with alignment issues that caused premature tire wear, the Model 3 has proven to be more fragile than many traditional sedans. Battery and charging issues, while not as widespread, have still affected many. Some drivers reported range loss faster than expected, charging port malfunctions or sudden drops in charging speed. These problems undermine the main selling point of the Model 3: long-term electric reliability. Interior wear has also been a disappointment. Seats, door handles, and interior trim have shown premature signs of aging, with some owners reporting peeling surfaces and fading materials within just a few years. The Tesla Model 3 proved that an affordable EV could be fast, efficient, and widely available. But its mix of quality issues, suspension problems, and electronic glitches made it one of the EVs that too often fell apart far earlier than expected. For a car that was supposed to be the dependable EV for the masses, too many drivers found themselves facing repairs and frustrations long before they should have. Number 3. Hyundai Kona Electric. The Hyundai Kona Electric was introduced as a practical, affordable EV that offered strong range numbers and modern styling. It quickly became popular with drivers who wanted a reliable daily commuter without paying the premium prices of Tesla or luxury EVs. At first glance, it seemed like a big win for Hyundai in the EV space. But in reality, the Kona Electric faced serious reliability issues that caused many owners headaches much earlier than they expected. The biggest problem was with its battery pack. Reports of battery fires spread across multiple markets, eventually forcing Hyundai to recall tens of thousands of Kona EVs worldwide. The company even had to replace entire battery packs on many vehicles, an expensive process that highlighted just how serious the issue was. For owners, the fear of their car catching fire, even while parked, was enough to undermine trust completely. Beyond fire risks, many Kona Electric owners complained about battery degradation happening earlier than promised. Instead of maintaining a healthy range for years, some drivers noticed significant drops in usable range within just a few years of ownership. For commuters who relied on the EV's range for daily travel, this made the vehicle far less practical. Charging issues also created frustration. Some Konas had trouble with rapid charging, cutting off unexpectedly, or refusing to charge at certain stations. Others experienced charging speeds that slowed dramatically after updates, leaving owners feeling like their cars were aging prematurely. Mechanical durability wasn't perfect either. Owners reported premature suspension wear, clunking noises from the steering system, and brake system problems. While these weren't as widespread as the battery concerns, they added to the sense that the Kona Electric wasn't built for the long run. Interior and build quality also left room for improvement. Cheap plastics, rattling panels, and early wear on seats and trim made the cabin feel older than its mileage suggested. For a new vehicle marketed as futuristic, the interior didn't hold up as well as buyers hoped. The Kona Electric's early promise was overshadowed by safety recalls, degraded range, and charging frustrations. Instead of being the affordable, dependable EV for the masses, it left many owners worried about long-term safety and usability. While Hyundai tried to repair its reputation by offering battery replacements, the damage was already done. For many drivers, the Kona Electric fell apart, not just physically, but also in terms of trust. That's why it earns its spot on this list. Number 2. Rivian R1T/R1S. Rivian burst onto the scene as one of the most exciting new EV brands, promising rugged electric trucks and SUVs that could tackle off-road adventures and family duties alike. The R1T pickup and the R1S SUV generated huge buzz, attracting early adopters who wanted something different from Tesla's lineup. On paper, these vehicles offered amazing range, powerful performance, and innovative features like the gear tunnel and camp kitchen. But as the first owners began putting miles on them, cracks in the promise started to show. Sometimes, literally. One of the most reported problems has been build quality. Owners of brand-new Rivians noticed panel misalignments, water leaks, and rattling interiors within just months of ownership. For vehicles carrying luxury-level price tags, these issues were surprising and frustrating. Some drivers even described their Rivians as feeling unfinished, more like prototypes than polished production vehicles. Electronics have also been a headache. Since Rivians rely heavily on software for nearly every system, glitches can create serious problems. Owners have reported frozen touchscreens, malfunctioning driver assist systems, and random error messages that forced system reboots. In some cases, the vehicles simply wouldn't start until the software was reset. These problems make the Rivian experience feel less like driving a truck and more like troubleshooting a laptop. Mechanical durability is another area of concern. Suspension components have shown premature wear, with clunking noises and uneven handling appearing early in some vehicles. There have also been reports of drivetrain issues, including unusual vibrations and motor failures, which required major repairs on vehicles with relatively low mileage. Charging hasn't been perfect either. While Rivian vehicles generally offer good range, some owners experienced unreliable charging sessions, especially on non-Rivian networks. Slow charging speeds, sudden cutoffs, and software-related charging glitches added to the frustration. The high price of the R1T and R1S makes these problems even harder to swallow. Early adopters who paid premium prices expected durability and reliability, but instead, many found themselves returning to service centers frequently. And because Rivian is still a new company, parts availability and repair times have sometimes been painfully slow, leaving owners without their vehicles for weeks. Rivian has shown it can build exciting and innovative EVs, but the early breakdowns, quality issues, and repair delays prove that the company still has a long way to go in delivering dependable vehicles. For many owners, the dream of owning a futuristic electric truck quickly turned into the reality of dealing with problems that showed up far too soon. Number 1. Tesla Model Y. The Tesla Model Y quickly became one of the most popular electric vehicles in the world, combining the performance of the Model 3 with the practicality of a crossover. On paper, it seemed like the perfect EV for families. Long range, fast acceleration, roomy interior, and the advantage of Tesla's vast charging network. But despite its success, the Model Y has become notorious for problems that show up shockingly early, with many owners reporting major issues well before the 50,000-mile mark. The biggest complaint? is build quality. Countless Model Y owners have reported misaligned body panels, uneven paint, and loose trim pieces right from the factory. Some even received vehicles with missing bolts or seals. Water leaks, wind noise, and rattling interiors became common topics in owner forums. For a car that's supposed to represent the future of the industry, these defects made it feel more like a rushed product than a carefully engineered SUV. Electronics add to the frustration. The Model Y, like other Teslas, relies almost entirely on its central touchscreen for controls. Owners have dealt with frozen screens, blackouts, and system reboots while driving. Software updates sometimes fix issues, but often introduce new bugs, making the ownership experience unpredictable. Critical features like autopilot have also been known to malfunction, with sudden braking or inconsistent lane keeping creating safety concerns. Mechanical durability isn't flawless either. Premature suspension wear, noisy drive units, and uneven tire wear are common complaints. Some owners have needed major suspension or drivetrain repairs long before hitting mileage that most drivers consider normal. Battery performance, while generally solid, has also had issues. Certain owners reported faster than expected degradation or sudden drops in range after software updates. Charging systems have also been problematic, with reports of faulty ports or slow charging speeds at non-Tesla stations. Interior durability has left many disappointed too. Seats, door handles, and center consoles have shown early wear, with peeling surfaces and squeaks developing within the first few years. For a vehicle priced as a premium crossover, this lack of long-term quality is hard to ignore. The Model Y may be one of the most popular EVs on the market, but popularity doesn't always equal durability. Between its poor build quality, software instability, and mechanical weaknesses, it has gained a reputation as an EV that often falls apart far too early. For many families who thought they were buying reliability along with innovation, the Model Y has become a reminder that the future of driving still comes with plenty of flaws. Electric vehicles are often sold as the future of transportation, cleaner, simpler, and more reliable than gas-powered cars. But, as this list shows, not every EV has lived up to the promise. From failing batteries and fragile electronics to poor build quality and expensive repairs, too many of these models left owners frustrated long before they should have. The lesson is clear. Just because a car is electric doesn't automatically make it dependable. As the EV market continues to grow, buyers should research carefully, check reliability records, and remember that true durability takes more than new technology. It takes proven engineering.